everybody? What y'all doing? What's up? What's up with everybody? How y'all doing? Happy Sabbath. Happy Sabbath. It's Sabbath, man. We out here rising scripts. Shalom, 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 happy Sabbath. All right, let's read. Oh, enough playing around. Let's read. This is Sabbath, baby. This is Sabbath. All right, I done played enough. Well, it's a Sabbath. I'm up, so let's read. We have everything we need to succeed, so let's go ahead and read. See what it is and what it ain't, what we can and what we can't, the do's and the don'ts up in this place, man. Out here. And let's give the Most High some gratitude, some gratefulness, some joyfulness, some, what up, baby? Hear my humble cry. By blowing up the trumpets as he did in the days, man, of King David. Man, hear my horn, dear Lord. Remember me. Remember me. It's the Sabbath day. Remember me. So we are in the book of Jasher. We are on chapter 18. Chapter 18, we're moving through. The book of Jasher has 91 chapters in it. The ancient book of Jasher, as referenced in Joshua 10 and 13, 2 Samuel 1 and 18, and 2 Timothy 3 and 8. 3 and 8. Pooh. Hey, so far so good, man. There's a lot of stuff going on, man. Abram, name has been changed to Abraham. He been moving throughout the land from place to Haran to Canaan to around Egypt area. That boy been moving back and forth. You know, he been moving around, you know, as the Most High has commanded him to do so, and he has done so. He didn't war with people. He didn't lie to the Egyptians. It was a famine, just like at the time of Joseph. The famine was going on, so he had to go to the land of Egypt because it wasn't nothing to eat out where he was. So, and he didn't told them people that Sarai was his sister. They didn't try to take her, hid her in a damn chest like she was a treasure. Then they left, and the Pharaoh gave Sarai, his daughter Hagar, for a handmaid. Sarah became barren, or Sarah been barren. Her name was changed to Sarah, from Sarai to Sarah. Hagar bare. She gave Hagar to Abram. Abram slept with Hagar. They had a son, called him Ishmael. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on, man. Abram turned 99. That boy, for the 2009, Abraham. So chapter 18 is called Circumcision Commences. The circumcision commences. Birdell on tape. Gus and Birdell reading. What you mean? I just put him out here. What you trying to go? Hell no. No, I just put him out. I'll bring him out in the morning. I bring him in the morning, in the noon, and in the night. All right. Well, let's read about the circumcision. Circumcision commences. Hey, don't worry. Once he old enough to be outside, I say once he old enough to be outside, oh, that's where that boy gonna be. Get out of my house. I don't like house animals. Huh? See what? You see what? What you talking about, Bird? All right. Bird De Leon. Happy Sabbath, Bird. Happy Sabbath. All right. Chapter 18. Circumcision commences. Let's commence the circum. Oh, my meat. How many of y'all still do this? How many of y'all still circumcise your children? And do you do it on the 8th day? Or do you do it right when they born? I have mine circumcised on the 8th day, my sons. Chapter 18. So chapter 18 and chapter 19 are pretty long as far as compared to how these chapters go in here. So that's why I'm only reading just those two. But let's get it. Circumcision commences. And Abraham rose and did all that God had ordered him. And he took the men of his household and those bought with his money, and he circumcised them as the Lord had commanded him. And there was not one left whom he did not circumcise. Next. Who's next? Next. 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 Oh, Abraham! And there was not one left whom he did not circumcise. And Abraham and his son Ishmael were circumcised in the flesh of their foreskin. 13 years old was Ishmael when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. Ooh, Ishmael. And the Lord appeared to him in the plain of Mamre, and sent 3 of his ministering angels to visit him. And he was sitting at the door of the tent, and he lifted up his eyes and saw, and lo, 3 men were coming from a distance. And he rose up and ran to meet them. And he bowed down to them and brought them into his house. And he said unto them, if now I have found favor in your sight, turn in and eat a morsel of bread. And he pressed them, and they turned in, and he gave them water, and they washed their feet. And he placed them under a tree at the door of the tent. Wash their feet, man. Come on, y'all been walking in them sandals. Come wash y'all dusty foots. Dusty foots. And Abraham ran and took a calf, tender and good, and he hasted to kill it, and gave it to his servant Eleazar to dress. And Abraham came to Sarah into the tent, and he said to her, make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal, knead it, and make cakes to cover the pot containing the meat. And she did so. And Abraham hastened and brought before them butter and milk, beef and mutton, and gave it before them to eat before the flesh of the calf was sufficiently done. And they did eat. And when they had done eating, one of them said to him, I will return to thee according to the time of life, and Sarah thy wife shall have a son. And the men afterward departed and went their ways, and to the places to which they were sent. Sodom's wickedness. In those days, all the people of Sodom and Gomorrah and of the whole 5 cities were exceedingly wicked and sinful against the Lord, and they provoked the Lord with their abominations, and they strengthened in aging abominably and scornfully before the Lord, and their wickedness and crimes were in those days great before the Lord. And they had in their land a very extensive valley, about half a day's walk. And in it there were fountains of water and a great deal of herbage surrounding the water. And all the people of Sodom and Gomorrah went there 4 times a year with their wives and children and all belonging to them. And they rejoiced there with timbrels and dancing. They was up there beating shit like I was beating that drum at the beginning. And in the time of rejoicing, they would all rise and lay hold of their neighbors' wives, and some the virgin daughters of their neighbors, and they enjoyed them. And each man saw his wife and daughter in the hands of his neighbor and did not say a word. They was having an orgy. It was a big orgy, 4 times a year by the waters that was in the valley with the herbage around it. They was out there getting busy. A big old swingers party. And they did so from morning to night. They didn't have no honey pack. And they afterward returned home, each man to his house and each woman to her tent. So they always did 4 times in a year. So it was 4 orgies every year in Sodom and Gomorrah, at least that. 4 orgies. And you know, that thing was like, hide your wife, hide your children. That's Also, when a stranger came into their cities and brought goods, which he had purchased with a view to dispose of there, the people of these cities would assemble, men, women, and children, young and old, and go to the man and take his goods by force, giving a little to each man until there was an end to all the goods of the owner which he had brought into the land. And if the owner of the goods quarreled with them, saying, what is this work which you have done to me? Then they would approach to him one by one, and each would show him a little which he took, and taunt him, saying, I only took that little which thou didst give me. And when he heard this from them all, he would arise and go from them in sorrow and bitterness of soul. And when they would all arise and go after him and drive him out of the city with great noise and tumult. Ooh, I don't like the sound of that. And there was a man from the country of Elam, who was leisurely going on the road, seated upon his ass, which carried a fine mantle of divers colors, and the mantle was bound with a cord upon the ass. And the man was on his journey, passing through the street of Sodom, when the sun set in the evening, and he remained there in order to abide during the night, but no one would let him into his house. And at that time there was in Sodom a wicked and mischievous man, one skillful to do evil, and his name was Hadad. And he lifted up his eyes, and he saw the traveler in the street of the city. And he came to him and said, Whence comest thou, and whither dost thou go? And the man said unto him, I am traveling from Hebron to Elam, where I belong. And as I passed, the sun set, and no one would suffer me to enter the house. And though I had bread and water, and also straw and provender for my ass, and am short of nothing. And Hadad answered and said to him, All that thou shalt want shall be supplied by me. But in the street thou shalt not abide all night. And Hadad brought him to his house. And he took off the mantle from off the ass with the cord, and brought them to his house. And he gave the ass straw and provender, whilst the traveler ate and drank in Hadad's house. And he abode there that night. And in the morning the traveler rose up early to continue his journey. And when Hadad said to him, Wait, comfort thy heart with a morsel of bread, and then go. And the man did so. And he remained with him, and they both ate and drank together during the day. And when the man arose up to go, and Hadad said to him, Behold, now the day is declining. Thou hadst better remain all night, that thy heart may be comforted. And he pressed him, so that he tarried there all night. And on the second day he rose up early to go away. And when Hadad pressed him, saying, Comfort thy heart with a morsel of bread, and then go. And he remained and ate with him also the second day. And then the man rose up to continue his journey. And Hadad said to him, Behold, now the day is declining. Remain with me to comfort thy heart. And in the morning arise up early and go thy way. And the man would not remain, but rose and saddled his ass. And whilst he was saddling his ass, the wife of Hadad said to her husband, Behold, this man has remained with us for 2 days, eating and drinking, and he has given us nothing. And now shall he go away from us without giving anything? And Hadad said to her, Be silent. Shut your ass up, bitch. I got that boy mantle. Shut up. Shut your ass. I got this mantle over here.
And act accordingly. There are plenty of sisters out here who do not feel like that. Seek them out. Stay away from that.
He ain't give us nothing. And the man saddles his ass to go, and he asked Hadad to give him the cord and mantle to tie it upon the ass. And Hadad said to him, What sayest thou? And he said to him, That thou, my lord, shalt give me the cord and the mantle made with divers colors, which thou didst conceal with thee in thy house to take care of it. And Hadad answered the man, saying, This is the interpretation of thy dream. The cord which thou didst see means that thy life will be lengthened out like the cord. And having seen the mantle colored with all sorts of colors means that thou shalt have a vineyard in which thou wilt plant trees of all the fruits. And the traveler answered, saying, Not so, my lord, for I was awake when I gave thee the cord and also the mantle woven with different colors, which thou didst take off the ass to put them by for me. And Hadad answered and said, Surely I have told thee the interpretation of thy dream, and it is a good dream, and this is the interpretation thereof. Now the sons of men give me 4 pieces of silver, which is my charge for interpreting dreams. And of 3 only I require 3 pieces, and of thee, I only require 3 pieces of silver. Boy, that boy trying to get over. Hadad trying to get over on that boy. And the man was provoked at the words of Hadad, and he cried bitterly. And he brought Hadad to Sirach, judge of Sodom. And the man laid his cause before Sirach and the judge. And when Hadad replied, saying, It is not so, But thus the matter stands. And the judge said to the traveler, this man Hadad telleth thee truth, for he is famed in the city for an accurate interpretation of dreams. And the man cried at the word of the judge, and he said, not so, my lord, for it was in the day that I gave him the cord and mantle which was upon the ass, and in order to put them by in his house. And they both disputed before the judge. The one said that thus the matter was, and the other declaring otherwise. And Hadad said to the man, give me 4 pieces of silver that I charge for my interpretations of dreams. I will not make any allowance, and give me the expense of the 4 meals that thou didst eat in my house. And the man said to Hadad, truly I will pay thee for what I ate in thy house. Only give me the cord and mantle which thou didst conceal in thy house. And Hadad replied before the judge and said to the man, did I not tell thee the interpretation of thy dream? The cord means that the days shall be prolonged like a cord, and the mantle that thou wilt have a vineyard in which thou wilt plant all kinds of fruit trees. This is the proper interpretation of thy dream. Now give me the 4 pieces of silver that I require as a compensation, for I will make thee no allowance. And the man cried at the words of Hadad, and they both quarreled before the judge. And the judge gave orders to his servants, who drove them rashly from the house. And they went away quarreling from the judge. And when the people of Sodom heard them, and they gathered about them, and they exclaimed against the stranger, and they drove him rashly from the city. And the man continued his journey upon his ass with bitterness of soul, lamenting and weeping. And whilst he was going along, he wept at what had happened to him in the corrupt city of Sodom. Chapter 19, Sodom destroyed. And the cities of Sodom had 4 judges to 4 cities. And these were their names: Saruk of the city of Sodom, Sharkad in Gomorrah, Zabnak in Admah, and Menon in Zeboim. And Eleazar, Abraham's servant, applied to them different names, and he converted Saruk to Shakra, Sharkad to Shakrura, Zebnak to Kezabim, and Menon to Matzladin, Matzladin. And by desire of their 4 judges, the people of Sodom and Gomorrah had beds erected in the streets of the city. If a man came to these places, they laid hold of him and brought him to one of their beds, and by force made him lie in them. And as he lay down, 3 men would stand at his head and 3 at his feet, and measure him by the length of the bed. And if the man was less than the bed, these 6 men would stretch him at each end. And when he cried out to them, they would not answer him. And if he was longer than the bed, they would draw together to the 2 sides of the bed at each end, until the man had stretched the gates of death. Had reached, the gates of death. And if he continued to cry out to them, they would answer him, saying, thus shall it be done to a man that cometh into our land. And when men heard of all these things that the people of the cities of Sodom did, they refrained from coming there. And when a poor man came to their land, they would give him silver and gold, and cause a proclamation in the whole city, not to give him a morsel of bread to eat. And if the stranger should remain there some days and die from hunger, not having been able to obtain a morsel of bread, then at his death all the people of the city would come and take the silver and gold which they had given to him. Boy, they doing them people dirty out there in Sodom and Gomorrah, and all them 5 cities. And those that could recognize the silver or gold, which they had given him, took it back, and at his death they also stripped him of his garments, and they would fight about them. And he that prevailed over his neighbor took them. And they would after that carry him and bury him under some of the shrubs in the deserts. So they did all the days to anyone that came to them and died in their land. And in the course of the time, Sarah sent Eleazar to Sodom to see Lot and inquire after his welfare. And Eleazar went to Sodom, and he met a man of Sodom fighting with a stranger. And the man of Sodom stripped the poor man of all his clothes and went away. And this poor man cried to Eleazar and supplemented his favor on account of what the man of Sodom had done to him. And he said to him, why dost thou act thus to the poor man who came to thy land? And the man of Sodom answered Eleazar, saying, is this man thy brother? Or have the people of Sodom made thee a judge this day, that thou speakest about this man? And Eleazar strove with the man of Sodom on account of the poor man. And when Eleazar approached to recover the poor man's clothes from the man of Sodom, he hastened and with a stone smote Eleazar in the forehead. Bow, get back. Hit that boy. I hear my dog growl. Let me check on Cabbage. What you doing, Cabbage? Get off that leash, Cabbage. Bust that boy upside the head. And the blood flowed copiously from Eleazar's forehead. And when the man saw the blood, he kept hold of Eleazar, saying, give me my hire for having rid thee of this bad blood that was in thy forehead. Pooh, he said, I got rid of that bad blood for you. For such is the custom and the law of our land. And Eleazar said to him, thou hast wounded me, and requirest me to pay thee thy hire. And Eleazar would not hearken to the words of the man of Sodom. And the man laid hold of Eleazar and brought him to Shakra, the judge of Sodom, for judgment. And the man spoke to the judge, saying, I beseech thee, my lord, thus has this man done, for I smote him with a stone that the blood flowed from his head, and he is unwilling to give me my hire. And the judge said unto Eleazar, this man speaketh truth to thee, give him his hire. For this is the custom in our land. And Eleazar heard the words of the judge, and he lifted up a stone and smote the judge. And the stone struck on his forehead, and the blood flowed copious from the forehead of the judge. And Eleazar said, if this then is the custom in your land, give thou unto this man what I should have given him. For thus has been thy decision. Thou didst decree it. And Eleazar left the man of Sodom with the judge, and he went away. And when the kings of Elam had made war with the kings of Sodom, and the kings of Elam captured all the property of Sodom, and they took Lot captive with his property. And when it was told to Abraham, he went and made war with the kings of Elam, and he recovered from their hands all the property of Lot, as well as the property of Sodom. And at that time, the wife of Lot bare unto him a daughter, and he called her name Piltith, saying, because God had delivered him and his whole household from the kings of Elam, and Piltith, daughter of Lot, grew up, and one of the men of Sodom took her for a wife. And a poor man came into the city to seek a maintenance, and he remained in the city some days. And all the people of Sodom caused a proclamation of their custom not to give this man a morsel of bread to eat until he dropped dead upon the earth, and they did so. And Piltith, the daughter of Lot, saw this man laying in the streets, starving with hunger, and no one would give him anything to keep him alive. And he was just upon the point of death, and her soul was filled with pity on account of the man. And she fed him secretly with bread for many days, and the soul of this man was revived. For when she went forth to fetch water, she would put the bread in the water pitcher. And when he came to the place where the poor man was, she took the bread from the pitcher and gave it to him to eat. So she did many days. Piltith, doing the right thing. Piltith. And all the people of Sodom and Gomorrah wondered how the man could bear starvation for so many days. And they said to each other, this can only be that he eats and drinks. For no man can bear starvation for so many days or live as this man has, without even his countenance changing. And 3 men concealed themselves in a place where the poor man was stationed, to know who it was that brought him bread to eat. And Paltith, daughter of Lot, went forth that day to fetch water, and she put bread into a pitcher of water, and she went to draw water by the poor man's place. And she took out the bread from the pitcher and gave it to the poor man, and he ate it. And the 3 men saw what Paltith did to the poor man, and they said to her, It is thou, then who has supported him, and therefore he has not starved, nor changed in appearance, nor died like the rest. And the 3 men went out of the place in which they were concealed, and they seized Paltith and the bread with which was in the poor man's hand. And they took Paltith and brought her before their judges, and they said to them, Thus did she. And it was she who supplied the poor man with bread, and therefore did he not die all this time. Now therefore declare to us the punishment due to this woman for having transgressed our law. And the people of Sodom and Gomorrah assembled and kindled a fire in the street of the city. And they took the woman and cast her into the fire, and she was burned to ashes. Oh, Paltith, not Paltith. And in the city of Admah, there was a woman to whom they did the like. For a traveler came into the city of Admah to abide there all night, with the intention of going home in the morning. And he sat opposite the door of the house of the young woman's father to remain there, as the sun had set. And when B had reached that to remain there, and as the sun had set, when B, I guess it's supposed to be he, when he had reached, I think it's supposed to be he. When he had reached that place, yeah, it's supposed to be H. When he had reached that place, and the young woman saw him sitting by the door of the house, and he asked her for a drink of water, and she said to him, Who art thou? And he said to her, I was this day going on the road, and reached here when the sun set. So I will abide here all night, and in the morning I will arise early and continue my journey. And the young woman went into the house and fetched the man bread and water to eat and drink. And this affair became known to the people of Admah. And they assembled and brought the young woman before the judges, that they should judge her for this act. And the judge said, The judgment of death must pass upon this woman, because she transgressed our law. And this, therefore, is a decision concerning her. And the people of those cities assembled and brought out the young woman and anointed her with honey from head to foot. And as the judge had decreed, and they placed her before a swarm of bees, which were then in their hives, and the bees flew upon her and stung her, that her whole body was swelled. And the young woman cried out on account of the bees, but no one took notice of her or pitied her. And her cries ascended to heaven, and the Lord was provoked at this, and at all the works of the cities of Sodom. For they had abundance of food, and had tranquility amongst them, and still would not sustain the poor and the needy. And in those days their evil doings and sins became great before the Lord. And the Lord sent for 2 of the angels that had come to Abraham's house to destroy Sodom and its cities. And the angels rose up from the door of Abraham's tent after they had eaten and drunk, and they reached Sodom in the evening. And Lot was then sitting in the gate of Sodom. And when he saw them, he rose to meet them, and he bowed down to the ground, and he pressed them greatly and brought them into his house. And he gave them victuals, which they ate, and they abode all night in his house. And the angel said to Lot, Arise, go forth from this place, thou and all belonging to thee, lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of this city, for the Lord will destroy this place. And the angels laid hold upon the hand of Lot, and upon the hand of his wife, and upon the hands of his children, and all belonging to him. And they brought him forth and set him without the cities. And they said to Lot, Escape for thy life. And he fled, and all belonging to him. Sodom destroyed. Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah and upon all these cities brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. And he overthrew these cities, all the plain and all the inhabitants of the cities, and that which grew upon the ground. And Adu, the wife of Lot, looked back to see the destruction of the cities. Not Sodom! Shut your ass up. For her compassion was moved on account of her daughters, who remained in Sodom, for they did not go with her. And when she looked back, she became a pillar of salt, and it is yet in that place unto this day. And the oxen which stood in that place daily licked up the salt to the extremities of their feet. And in the morning it would spring forth afresh, and they again licked it up unto this day. And Lot and two of his daughters that remained with him fled and escaped to the cave of Adullam, and they remained there for some time. And Abraham rose up early in the morning to see what had been done to the cities of Sodom. And he looked and beheld the smoke of the cities going up like the smoke of a furnace. And Lot and his two daughters remained in the cave, and they made their father drink wine, and they lay with him. For they said, there was no man upon earth that could raise up seed from them, for they thought that the whole earth was destroyed. And they both lay with their father. And they conceived and bare sons. And the firstborn called the name of her son Moab, saying, from my father did I conceive him. He is the father of the Moabites unto this day. And the younger also called her son Ben-Ammi. He is the father of the children of Ammon unto this day. And after this, Lot and his two daughters went away from there. And he dwelt on the other side of the Jordan with his two daughters and their sons. So he dwelt with his sons and grandsons. My grandson's sons. And after this, Lot and his two daughters went away from there, and he dwelt on the other side of the Jordan with his two daughters and their sons. And the sons of Lot grew up, and they went and took themselves wives from the land of Canaan, and they begat children, and they were fruitful and multiplied. And we're going to stop there. We're going to stop there at chapter 20. We stopped at chapter 20. Chapter 20 is Abraham and the Philistines. Oh, Lot's wife messing up, Lot's daughters messing up. Man, I bet they learned that humbug to be so hasty and impatience from their mama. Probably learned that from a dude. As a mother is, so shall the daughters be. A dude done turned around because she couldn't just bear it. She couldn't bear my daughters. Salt, Himalayan. Turned into that Himalayan. But that was chapters 18 and 19 of the ancient book of Jasher, as referenced in Joshua 10 and 13, 2 Samuel 1 and 18, and 2 Timothy 3 and 8. Hey, we're moving right along. I like that it gives, I like how the book of Jasher gives more details to certain stories that you read in the Bible. Like I've always wondered what Lot's wife's name was. So it gives Lot's wife's name. Adu, which is great. I always wondered about his the daughters. Oh God, I thought he got a little. Oh Lord. Well, let me go check on my dog. Happy Sabbath, everybody. I hope y'all have a wonderful, wonderful Sabbath. My dog done got loose. Oh Lord, he done got loose. So let me go get him and make sure he's straight. But happy Sabbath, man. That has been a Sabbath reading, man. Get up, blow up your trumpets, if you got them. Send up your prayers. Give praises to the Most High for you being allowed to have another day, to see another light, to hear anything, feel anything. So Happy Sabbath, everybody. Shalom, shalom, shalom. And until next time, man, I'm out here, man. Shalom.